Hey guys, welcome back to my page. My name is Jeremy with the J Consultant. So, for somebody that's on my page for the first time, typically what you would hear me say is I specialize in helping removing bankruptcies from your credit report. But guys, that's actually changed. That's changed. I'm going to be talking about how to remove everything from your credit report with consumer law, factual disputing, and Metro 2 compliance. But for today specifically, I'm going to talk about consumer law because from what I see throughout social media, that's what I see people use the most. And before I go into that, just to kind of give you guys a little bit of background on me for people who's never been on my page before, I've been in this credit space since about like 2014. And to be honest, what made me knowledgeable when it comes to a lot in credit is I fucked up a lot. I messed up a lot in life because these are not things that they typically teach in the traditional school when it comes to like finances, credit, things like that. So I just messed up a lot. And then I'm a risk taker. I'm an entrepreneur, so I took a lot of risks. So, and then also too, another thing, why I feel it is so important to learn credit for yourself. One, I don't know if you guys know this, but do you know it's illegal to charge people to fix their credit? If someone is charging you up front, so if y'all don't know this, now you do. If someone is charging you up front to fix your credit, that is illegal. Y'all be seeing people paying like $1,000, $2,000 for credit repair, and I'm like, it's illegal. Now, larger companies get away with it because they'll charge you like a monthly maintenance fee, and that's something that they can do. But initially, you're paying for it, like you're paying up front. You're paying up front, especially for something that you can do yourself. So that's what I went back. I went back and I created a community to teach people how to do it for themselves. But I'll get to that. But let's just go ahead and deep dive into consumer law, right? So the reason why I chose to start on consumer law is that's what I see most people use and that's what I see most people teach. But my question for anybody that's using consumer law, why are you using consumer law? That will be my question. So, whenever you go into this whole credit space, you need to go into this space as you are your own attorney. You're your own attorney and you're representing your own case. So you need to know if I'm doing factual disputing, why? If I'm doing consumer law, why? If I'm doing Metro 2 compliance, why? So my question is, why are you using it? Because like for me, if I'm using consumer law or if I'm using any of them, but just specifically consumer law, I'm using it for a reason, but I'm also using these different consumer law codes for a reason as well. I'm trying to build a case. And that's how you always have to go into it with consumer law as you're building a case. But you have to understand consumer law as well. So first things first, let's just go ahead and jump into it. So how did the FCRA come about? So like, first of all, what is the FCRA? The Fair Credit Reporting Act. A federal law passed in 1970 that regulates how credit bureaus collect, use, and share your information. Why was this established? To ensure fairness, accuracy, and privacy in credit reporting, to stop credit bureaus from reporting false or outdated information, and to give consumers the right to dispute errors and request corrections. How does it impact you? It protects you from unfair reporting practices. It gives you the right to know what's on your credit profile and enforces the credit bureaus and furnishers to be accountable. The FCRA is the foundation of all disputes. It exists to protect you. One of the things that I wanted to go back over was this in particular, why it was established. To ensure fairness, accuracy, privacy, and credit reporting, to stop bureaus from reporting false or outdated information, and to give consumers the right to dispute errors and request corrections. The reason why I said I wanted to specifically go back over that is because, y'all, these reporting agencies and data furnishers make mistakes all the time. All the time. Let me just give you an example. Say, for instance, if you dispute something, right? Everything has to be done by paper. So if you dispute something with the credit bureau, they have to go to whomever is furnishing that information. And every time they speak back and forth with each other, it has to be by paper. It has to be by paper and it has to be certified. So it's a lot of going back and forth, right? Anytime anything is done back and forth, there's going to be a loss of something. That's like somebody even telling a story. Y'all remember that game that you used to play in school where you tell a story and you go around the classroom? By the time the story came back, it was nothing like it began with. A lot of this is within credit too. A lot of this is within credit. They mess up all the time. For instance, my name is Jeremy Anderson, right? Do y'all know how many Jeremy Andersons it is in the US? So my account could be linked to somebody else's account and be reporting on me I'm getting denied for things, or I pull up my credit report and I'm like, what is this? It could be for that reason. Things get mixed up all the time. All the time. Especially when it comes to, okay, now you receive it in paper. Now you have to input it with data. So say, for instance, I've inputted, as far as within a system, systems change all the time. Companies upgrade all the time. So once they're going from this system to this system, stuff, it just be all messed up. That's another reason why it's great to know what you're looking at on your credit report and understand it. There are so many mistakes. Yeah, I can promise y'all, like, this is somebody that's going into the whole credit repair process. You pull up your credit report, I'm sure there's so many mistakes on there. But another reason too, mind y'all, these large institutions, they work hand in hand with each other. So the FCRA, of course, it says that they're trying to ensure the privacy and accuracy of reporting, but it's to their benefit. It's for the larger corporations. It's just so they can have some type of profile on you to decide whether or not we gonna lend you credit, basically. And before I say this, before I continue, this is just educational advice. This is educational advice only. So I just want to, throw that out there. But let me go ahead and minimize this real. Well, actually, no. So within the FCRA, the Fair Credit Reporting Act, and like I said, before you start using consumer law, understand why you're using it. But the CRA gives you the right to dispute. You can dispute. So for who? Consumers, credit bureaus, and furnishers. What? It lets you challenge inaccurate or incomplete information. And you send a written dispute. The bureaus have 30 to 45 days to respond. But just think of it like this with the FCRA. Think of this like in a plain breakdown. Think of this law as like raising your hand in your class, right? When the teacher gave you a paper and it was wrong. Like you were doing a math test and the question was 2 + 2, you put 4, she marked it wrong. You're raising your hand because you seen a mistake. That's pretty much what, what it is overall. So a scenario, and I just gave y'all a scenario, so I ain't got to do that. But let me give you the one that's on here. So scenario, your student loan is marked late, but you have receipts showing that it was on time. You can send in a written dispute citing 611, FCRA 611. It gives you a right to dispute. You can send in a dispute letter, and if they can't verify, the bureaus must delete or correct the item. So this is the thing. This is why I say it's great to know consumer law, because like I said, you're building a case. But there are certain laws that you use in certain scenarios. For instance, if something was wrong on my credit report, right? The first thing I'm going to do, which is what I stated, like with the whole teacher scenario, I'm going to raise my hand. So if I'm going to use consumer law, and before I say this, once again, this is for educational purposes only. If I'm going to use consumer law, the first thing that I'm going to do is, because I'm setting up a case, right? First thing that I would use is 1681I, dispute and reinvestigation, because the CRAs, the credit reporting agencies, they must reinvestigate disputes within 30 days and delete or correct unverifiable items. So you're giving them a chance to either delete it or correct it. So that would be the first thing that I would do, right? So say, for instance, if they come back, and also too, y'all, don't take my word for any of this. Don't take my word for any of this. Go and look this information up. But if they come back and say, hey, this information was correct, it was verified, the next thing that I would do is ask for a method of verification. Where did you get it from? And that's the reason why I say it's great to know consumer law, because you'll know, hey, I can use this code for this. I can use this specific one for this and this one for this. Because for instance, if I send them in the initial one saying, hey, it's wrong, correct it, reinvestigated, whatever, they come back to me and they say, oh no, it's correct. I'm asking for a method of verification next. Once I ask for the method of verification, you have to provide me with the furnisher of who provided you this information. So now, if you send me that, right? So say, for instance, if you do send it to me, now I can target the furnisher. And that's the reason why I say it's all about strategy too. But say, for instance, if you don't provide me that information that I'm asking for, the method of verification, you don't. If you don't provide it for me, after I've asked, but I've kept documentation of everything, now I'm going to gather this information and file a complaint with the CFPB. Because now I have proof that you made a violation. Because I asked you for something using a specific law and you didn't give it to me. So that's the reason why I say it's about building the case and it's about strategy. So I ended up, and then too, another thing, look this information up. Let me minimize this. Let me put it to the side. Look this information up. This is FTC.gov. It talks about the Fair Credit Reporting Act. And like I said, if you're going to go the consumer law way, also look these different codes and stuff up. Look up the different consumer laws. The Cornell Law School. Look up any one of them. Like the one that I was just speaking on, 1681I. It talks about it. 15 U.S. Code, 1681I. Procedure in case of disputed accuracy. I'm disputing accuracy. That would be the initial one that I would send out. And so go on this website, y'all, and get familiar with these different codes. Get familiar with these codes. Also, click on these different hyperlinks. The hyperlinks goes off into more detail on what they're meaning if you don't know what the meaning are. Like if you don't know what the meaning is. So like say, for instance, this says Consumer Reporting Agency, and it gives you the term, like the definition of it. Why did I disappear? Okay, there I go. Wait. Okay. My bad, y'all. But so I created a group, y'all. I created a group and I go over all of this information within the group. So for instance, this says start here and all of the different prompts. But then within that, I show different proof, like social proof. I talk about understanding the credit bureaus in your report, factual disputing, consumer law, Metro 2 compliance, bankruptcy, student loans, evictions, late payment, the dispute process, escalating disputes, give advice, encourage you guys, because it's a journey. It is a journey. And also I have a live chat as well. And within that live chat, matter of fact, let me remove this. And within that live chat, you can just ask me anything. I'll be going live on every Thursday for anybody that have any questions regarding anything. But when it comes to credit, you have to take control of your own credit. I'm sorry when I tell y'all, nobody cares about your credit. They don't. And then two, people are illegally charging you for something that you need to be doing yourself. This is a skill set, and you could take this skill set and either correct your own things or pass it on. Correct your family, whatever. But it's something that you need to learn. But I created the community because I'm like, people are really getting scammed out here. So if that's something that you're interested in learning about Metro 2 compliance, factual disputing, and consumer law, learning how to legally take control of your own credit, then just click the link in the bio. It's $48 a month. That's less than a cup of coffee a day, y'all. Less than a cup of coffee a day for you to take control of your own financial future. But y'all, if you're going to go consumer law, know which way you're going to go. Know why you're doing it. Because if you just sending templates that somebody has generated for you, you don't even know what you're doing. And that's one of the main reasons why you're not getting results. But if you're interested in joining the community, click the link in the bio for these type of different results that I've received throughout my credit journey. And I will see y'all on the next